It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Oh, Merry half Christmas, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 25th, and by God, we're celebrating half Christmas today. Are you with me or what?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as jacked as you seem to be this morning.
I've got a little something special for you, Brian, in my bag.
Some cocaine?
It doesn't sound like Santa. It don't really sound like Santa, does it?
Hi, Santa.
It's got a Santa thing going on there.
Well, Brian, you've been a good boy, and I'm high as a kite. Half Christmas, man. You know, here's the thing. Listen. We don't get to be together on Christmas. It's a holiday. Right. We generally have that whole week off. And we thought, you know what? It's half Christmas. Let's just celebrate together today. It's you know, as the summer heat is starting to, you know, really start to wear us down a little bit, we've got a lot of things that we can look to that are kind of a drag. You know, flooding, hockey's over, there's no football yet, whatever you want to point your finger at. So we figured, no, screw that. Let's take the day. Let's celebrate the season that is 6 months from now, but we're going to do it today. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. This is what Christmas would sound like if we were all together. I've already had my first shot of Rumpelmans.
Attaboy.
So I'm going to be ready to take a swing at somebody here in about an hour.
We will be celebrating half Christmas throughout the morning. We've got a very special Christmas Day unfun facts at about 6:50. At 7:50, we're giving away KQ Rockin' the 80s Boat Cruise tickets, playing a little game called Shock the Elf. We're not shocking a monkey today. We're shocking one of Santa's little bastard helpers up there from the North Pole. We're shocking an elf. And then at 8:50, we're giving away Mike Campbell tickets with a game of Yes or BS. So many things to do in honor of half Christmas today. I'm very excited.
We're very thankful, yes, this magical time of year, this half Christmas.
It's a little joy. Is that so wrong?
No.
No, of course it's not, Tony. Have another sip.
Then I don't want to be right.
Don't worry about that. Things are rarely right around here.
Especially me.
Very rarely the lines that we worry about crossing around the KQ Morning Show.
Uh-huh. I wasn't right about the Oilers running away with it last night, that's for sure.
No, the Miami, what are they called? The Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Pulled it out. My God. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals after a 3-0 lead. They dropped 3 in a row, but last night when it all came down to it, I knew the Oilers didn't have a chance when they brought Alanis Morissette in to sing "Oh Canada." That's when I said, forget it.
And the Star Spangled Banner, dual citizenship there for Miss Morissette. But, I did say the first team that scored would win. It didn't take long. That first period was a hell of a lot better than the third period. It was got started. I thought, oh, man, this is going to be like 8-7.
Florida trying to end it up against the wall, which would be fitting. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
There you go.
It will be in the low 90s in Miami today, where your Stanley Cup champions will be celebrating. Yeah. I mean, doesn't it make more sense to celebrate a Stanley Cup championship with half Christmas as the theme, as opposed to, oh my God, I'm dying of heat exhaustion theme?
Yeah, I think so.
But that's just our part to try to bring it all together. You know, if you want to call it Australian Christmas, go ahead, whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Australian Christmas. That's there's
the summer down there.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah.
The other good note from the only other good note from the Stanley Cup Finals I feel like sharing is that Canadian rapper, all around mega superstar douchebag Drake lost a $500,000 bet on the Oilers last night. So that's good.
Yeah.
And he also lost a $500,000 on the Dallas Mavericks. So he's lost $1 million on the finals in the last couple of weeks.
Drake.
So, yeah, Drake.
Is he going to be all right? Or?
Yeah, he's going to be okay. Yeah, he's got something like 79 billion streams on Spotify. Right. He's one of the 7 artists who's actually made money on Spotify. He's going to be just fine. Lot to get into today for half Christmas. Feel free to take the day off work. In fact, on the Facebook page, we posted a get out of work a little note for you to give your supervisors at work. You can print that off. We'll, sign that bad boy up. Just celebrate Half Christmas with us for the next few hours on the KQ Morning Show. No shortage of fun things to get into, and that would include, of course, Christmas disasters. Oh, we've all had some moments that weren't exactly cheery and bright and gay, as they say. And so let's talk about some full-on Christmas disasters. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Ho, ho, ho. We're celebrating half Christmas all day long. June 25th. We are halfway to the big day, ladies and gentlemen. So on a beautiful summer afternoon, let's talk about Christmas instead. Why not? We're not going to be here on Christmas Day, so we're going to be here for half Christmas Day. And I don't know, man. I'm feeling the Christmas warmth, the joy, the birth of the. Well, I was going to say Savior, but the really more about opening presents and gifts. Who am I kidding? And the eggnog or the kegnog or the rumpelmints or whatever the hell you're drinking, Zep. Smells good.
Yeah, it's good. It keeps your breath fresh all the way from your mouth to your butthole.
Oh, that's such a pretty way to put it.
Isn't it? Well,
it's the holidays.
Yeah, it is the holidays.
Man, let's whip up that print ad from your mouth to your butthole. Rumpelmans. Picture a Zep like looking at you like Leo DiCaprio with that drink, winking at the camera. Boom, there you go.
Up.
Bloodshot eyes.
Oh, you know that. But just well on his way to a Christmas afternoon, early evening disaster.
Ooh, yeah.
The run to the bathroom that you came up just a couple steps short. We've all been there.
We've had some Christmas disasters because of the booze out of the Zepp family.
Sure.
Ranch, that happens from time to time. Dad once kicked us all out of the house at like midnight on Christmas. Everybody, get out of my house. Yeah, he just got drunk, and we started talking about taxes or something, and it was like,
sure.
Get out. Everybody were like, oh, Dad's kicking us all out of the house out in
Nice.
the middle of nowhere on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
And by the way, no one left, but when Dad fell down on his way to the bedroom, we did help him into bed. Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah.
Put him outside.
It was a fun one. We made sure it was an extra loud Christmas morning for Dad.
Sure, that's fantastic. The one tragic Gorman Christmas was when everybody had returned back. I was still living at home. I was like 14. Everybody was back. All the siblings, the wives. There's 14 people in the house probably, and the pipes froze. And it was Christmas morn with that many people with no running water in the house. and my dad literally on toilet patrol. If you can pee in the sink, run the water, let it go. Don't run the water. Go down the sink. Don't fill if you fill that toilet, if everybody fills these, he was just like obsessed with everybody. Go outside, put on your slippers, go outside, pee outside. It was rough, man. Did get a plumber over on Christmas who, from my memory, was about 100 years old. Oldest guy I've ever seen working. And he had a bunch of live-a-snaps for the dogs. Those dog treats.
Snaps.
Live-a-snaps. Remember those? Yeah.
You can afford those because he's probably charging you $100 a minute.
I can only imagine what he caught, what in 1978, what kind of bill he threw down on Imelda that day. But she wrote the check with a smile on her face. I guarantee it. This is a great Christmas disaster. It's a comment. My dad got new sweatpants, tried them on, and then passed gas. Only we know where this is going. It doesn't have to be Christmas for someone to soil themselves, but it makes it more festive. Only some poop accidentally came out and ruined his new sweatpants. He was furious.
Oh, yeah. Are they ruined, really? I mean, that does wash out.
If you get there quick enough, sure.
Yeah, sure.
A little soda water, some bicarbonate. I don't know.
Get those right in the sink. That's what Mom used to do. Hurry, get it off. Let me attack that stain while it's still wet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
Get those poopy sweats in the sink.
Oh man, the full house on Christmas. Even when nothing goes wrong, there is just a simmering tension underneath. I'm thinking back to. you're just like, hey, this is all great. And everyone's really, really happy until somebody steps out, and it's just like, oh, like there's just it's like a crock pot lid. As long as no one lifts it, it's going to be fine. Yeah, these happen. This is another great Christmas disaster. I met my boyfriend's relatives for the first time during Christmas. I was really touched that they gifted me with some high-end toiletries. After a few weeks of using the lip balm, I got serious rashes and chemical burns around my lips.
Damn.
Turns out the stuff they gave me had been expired for years.
Oh, they had it laying around.
Recycling presents apparently is a thing for some people.
Well, yeah, I mean, waste not, want not.
I did actually, now that I'm thinking back, I had a bad Christmas when I was a college student. At my brother's house in Maryland, the whole family's all together, a bunch of us, and I had a gift that my girlfriend had sent to Baltimore. So I would have a present from her under the tree, a girl I dated for 3 years in college, and it was really sweet. I was like, oh my God, she literally like mailed this 2 weeks ago to my brother's house. How did she know how to do that? Like she'd gone to this effort to not only get me a present weeks in advance, but she found out my brother's address without me knowing, mailed it there. I was so touched, and I opened this box, and it was a pair of khakis and a dress shirt.
What?
And yeah, she got me like, she was basically saying like, hey, this whole Goodwill thrift store look of yours, where you're you look like a roadie for the replacements.
Yeah.
Let's shape it up a little bit. And I literally, that was the end of the relationship. Yeah. I was like, that's it. I can't see this girl anymore.
Yeah, she was trying to clean you up for marriage to be a respectable young man that she could craft into a husband to spend all of her Christmases with.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, and then I couldn't believe how I was so bent about it. And then my older brother's like, dude, relax. I'm like, you relax. I was like,
you relax.
19 years old, angst-ridden knucklehead with no real problems. And I was furious, man.
Did you ask her intentions when she did do that?
Yeah, I called her that day. I was like, what? I couldn't even pretend to be like, they're great. I was like, you're never going to see me wearing these clothes.
It's time to grow up, Stephen.
Yeah, I guess that was it. She did marry an Air Force pilot a few years later. So, I mean, it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, khakis weren't going to get you in the cockpit. They weren't going to raise your social status that far. Maybe a pretender or something like that. Well, that's how a girlfriend fails around Christmas. This is how a boyfriend fails at Christmas. Samantha writes, I was opening my presents with my then boyfriend in front of his huge family. We'd been together for some time, and we all thought he was going to propose to me. They all waited with bated breath while I opened the tiny envelope from him that he had put a lot of thought into. The envelope contained a gift certificate for laser mole removal.
No way.
Come on. What?
Laser mole removal. I couldn't decide whether to cry or laugh. We broke up shortly thereafter. Well,
okay, I got thoughts on that one.
Cheap. This is a spendy present.
Well, yes. All right. There, you get it.
Is it a Christmas present, really? I mean, is that for under the tree? I would think that's more like just on a random Wednesday, you slide it in their note, under the newspaper in the morning or something. Oh, here's a little something. Man, that's pretty rough.
Valentine's Day.
Well, that's probably true.
Right, that'd be appropriate Valentine's Day. Let's get that mole removed.
I heard from Santa Claus, and he thinks it's time for you to get rid of that mole. You could dress that up. You could make it sound pretty great.
Has anyone ever had a mom snap on Christmas? Because they put up with a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just a mom just snapping, just saying, that's it, I've had it. Going outside, going out of the house, lighting up a cigarette, which is something she hasn't done in 20 years or something. Or
Imelda didn't smoke, but she did have, there were a series. There were Thanksgivings and Christmases where, at about 5 p.m., she would just all of a sudden that's it. And she'd just go to her bedroom and shut the door.
Yeah.
To return.
That's what mom would do. She would just disappear. Where's mom? In the bedroom. And you'd look over and the door would be shut.
Yeah.
And you weren't going to check on mom. Mom needed whatever was going on in there. She needed a little mom time. Maybe she was lighting up. I don't know. This is a pretty good one. Rosemary writes, a few years back, one of my siblings must have ticked my mom off, and all the stress of the past couple of days, she just snapped, fully pushed the 6-foot Christmas tree over, took an electric saw to make tiny pieces out of it. true story, and that woman is 5'2". I don't know why that why that pertained to the story.
We did.
Went and sawed up the Christmas tree. I mean, imagine that had to take a few minutes as the family just sat there and went, well, Mom's losing it right here in front of us.
Oh, that's fantastic. It can be pretty stressful in the build up to Christmas, of course. Also, I've seen people just about throwing hands at the mall. You know what I mean? Like the last minute Christmas Eve, which is always when I'm at the mall. Like I finally give in. Okay, fine. And it's the last second. Tony, you've got some thoughts, or you've got a little something to share about the joys of Christmas shopping.
The joys of Christmas shopping is right up there on the list of things that can be stressful and disastrous. It can be a real competition.
It can. We've all been there.
Ditto.
Sometimes the competition is so thick you just don't even know where to start.
Speaking of disasters,
the holidays, a time for joy and wonder, a time for circling the parking lots for any tiny wedge of space.
Learn to drive, jackass!
Clerks are crabby and resentful.
This coupon expired, idiot!
The competition is fierce as stock dwindles. You see the item you came for.
I saw it first!
So do others.
Mine!
And it's on. Displays collapse, bodies fly, and bones break. You're tasered by security and curl up in pain and marinate the floor with your saliva and blood until you're arrested, then detained with dangerous criminals. With a quick call to your rich uncle who delights in others' misfortune, you make bail and head home to a tense and awkward gathering with judgmental relatives who are strangers to you, because that's what it's all about. The holidays. A time where you welcome a little something to take the edge off.
Mother! I'll see you in hell!
Happy holidays from all of us at Liquor City.
Liquor City, just off the turnpike by the sign, take the exit.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the Half Christmas KQ Morning Show. Here's a little something under the tree. It says, to all of the Twin Cities and surrounding areas, from Mike Evans.
Hey, Minneapolis, St. Paul, good morning. It is Tuesday. It's a celebration day. It's a day where you can go to any Marcus Theater and see any movie for only $6. No other theater chain does this in the whole country. And you got it right there at Marcus Theater. Take advantage. Please allow me a personal note and comment to start off with. I was shocked and so sorry to hear that Tamayo Perry died of a shark attack on Sunday while filling in as a lifeguard near Kahuku Beach on the north shore of Oahu, where really close to where I grew up. Tamayo was a lifelong surfer. I'd only met him a few times, but I've talked to a lot of our mutual friends over the last 24 hours. Every single person I talked to said everybody loved him. He reeked with aloha spirit, a native Hawaiian who appeared in several Hawaii Five-0 shows, a lot of other shows, was also in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Tamayo Perry was only 49 years old, married, a wonderful father, a lifelong surfer, working as a lifeguard and filling in, and killed by a shark. Unbelievable. Hey, here is the hottest scoopage of the day. Is it true? Michael Jackson's dad, Joe Jackson, did just about everything he could to try to get a family intervention together just weeks prior to Michael Jackson's death. Joe had talked to Dr. Conrad Murray, and Joe was worried about Michael Jackson, his son, being prescribed propofol by Conrad Murray for Michael's serious insomnia. But nobody in the family would call Joe Jackson back. Joe had beat the kids throughout their childhoods. Even his own wife didn't like him. Nobody would talk to him. So the intervention never happened. Had it happened, who knows, might have saved Michael's life. TV news. If you have Paramount Plus, your bill's going to go up significantly August 20th. Hey, remember I told you that the owners of Higher Ground Studios were going to get very active in 2025, and they have just signed a multi-year exclusive multi-billion-dollar deal with Netflix. They are planning 2 television series and 2 feature films in the next 18 months. I also told you, if you remember, Higher Ground is owned by Barack and Michelle Obama. No word on the content of their TV shows or the movies. Well, the first movie starring Kevin Spacey since his sexual assault accusations has come out. The movie is called Peter 5'8", and it is so bad Spacey should have been arrested for just making this movie. It was released over a month ago worldwide and has brought in only $68,000. It's official. Hollywood has distanced itself from Kevin, and Spacey is over. And Will Smith has announced that he is going to kickstart his singing career on June 30th on the BET Award show. I'm hearing that the 55-year-old Will Smith's new song sucks. I don't know that to be true, but that's what I'm hearing. I hope they're wrong. I hope it's good, but I'll be anxious to hear it. Again, Will Smith, singing career, kickstart on the BET Award show, June 30th. Hey, have a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
There's your Mike Evans Hollywood Report for half Christmas, June 25th. He didn't mention it. Scrooge. Hey, let's look back. Oh, here we go. On this day in 1965, the NHL governors, the owners of the original 6 hockey teams, they said, you know what? We're going to expand the league. Let's double the league. They added 6 new franchises for 1967. The LA Kings, the St. Louis Blues, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Minnesota North Stars. The 6th and final team, the Oakland Seals.
Oh, Seals.
The Oakland Seals. They later changed their names to the Oakland Crofts. Still didn't work. They folded eventually. They tried everything. They were Seals. They were Crofts. They just couldn't make it happen.
Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland Seals. Literally, honest to God, I don't know that I've ever even heard of that team before today.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, June the 25th. Half Christmas is what we're calling it around here today. We are halfway to that most wonderful time of the year. And since we're not going to be here on Christmas Day, we figured we'd do it on half Christmas. Brighten up your late June with a little Christmas cheer. And not just to tell you how serious we are about this, we're going to give away tickets at 7:50 this morning. We've got our 7:50 game. We're not going to shock the monkey. We're going to shock the elf.
Yeah, you believe it.
Yeah, we've got one of Santa's elves right here. I think it's that alabaster snowball guy. I think that's who we got in here. I don't know. They all look the same. Bushy evergreen, shiny up a tree. I can never tell. Shinny up a tree. I can never tell which elf is which. They're just so tiny. As long as it's not Dennis, that one who wants to be a dentist, will be fine.
A little weirdo.
Yeah. But what about your tooth?
Yeah, maybe we do strap that misfit in. But I think, and those parents that have endured the elf on the shelf routine, you know.
You'll never fit in.
That's right.
Oh, man.
I think people are ready to hear an elf get the hell shocked out of it.
Oh, hell yeah, we are. Absolutely. That's in a little less than an hour, 7:50. We're going to give away tickets to the KQ Rockin' the Boat 80s cruise, which takes place in about a month. So that's pretty exciting stuff. As we're celebrating Christmas, my mind goes back a few years. Not everything about Christmas is exciting and happy and good time Charlie, kind of storylines. There was a family in, I believe they were down in Ohio, and they went out and cut their own Christmas tree at a tree farm back in 2018. So this is 6 years ago. And they went out, the family together, all of them. They chop down the tree. They pick it out. The kids are happy. The parents are happy. They bring the tree home. They set it up. They trim it. They put all the ornaments on. They light it. They do the whole thing. You can imagine just what a wonderful thing it is when you've cut your own tree down from a farm.
Oh, yeah. We've done
it. About 2 weeks after that, little bugs started popping up everywhere. And by little bugs, I mean little bugs that became big bugs because they were praying mantises.
Wow.
Cool.
Many praying mantises. What happens is the praying mantis eggs were in that tree, and you bring the tree inside. The praying mantis eggs, they don't know it's still winter. They think it's spring. It's warm in that house.
Toasty and inviting, praying mantis weather. Time to come out and eat other bugs, I guess. This is some doctor that talked about how that happened.
So in the accompanying video, you can see the woman's Christmas tree whose branches are infested with baby praying mantises. It's sort of like a decoration that Jack Skellington would leave the kids in The Nightmare Before Christmas. And this can be problematic given that each egg sac can contain up to 200 eggs. So this can lead to mantis palooza.
Mantis palooza.
Yeah, I like that. The Nightmare Before Christmas reference with the tree there. That's not uncommon. People have brought possums in. They brought owls in those things. But yeah, I didn't think about all the bugs.
If you bring a Christmas tree home from the farm and you find it to be infested, I love the way he said infested, like Uncle Fester. He was so happy to use that word. If you find a Christmas tree in your home full of praying mantises, just bring in a couple of frogs, a lizard, maybe a hornet, a bat. Just look for the natural predator list of praying mantis. And bring them all in. Ooh, a possum. Yeah, they're more like ticks and fleas, but sure, they'll probably go after a mantis too.
Yeah.
Just bring in a few of the natural predators, and you should be fine. So that's what you'd call an unfun Christmas. And as it's Tuesday, you know what? It's just the beginning. We've got some more unfun facts to share about the Golden Holiday.
I was just trying to get my facts straight. Unfun.
Unfun.
Not fun.
Not fun. Not fun.
Entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun.
Facts.
Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
I mentioned it earlier. I said, hey, string up some mistletoe. Let's get some kissing going. It's Christmas. Let's celebrate. We all know that you put mistletoe in the doorway, and if you find yourself under the mistletoe, hey, let's have a kiss. Missile is the Anglo-Saxon word for dung.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Firing missiles.
Yeah, the word tan is the word for twig. Mistletoe, if you want to just get to it, it translates as dung on a twig. Or I've also seen it translated as poo on a stick.
Yeah. Don't they have that at the fair this year? It's a big feature.
I'm looking forward to that. I know I've left it when I've been out deer hunting. You've had to wipe with a stick sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, can't
poo on a stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see that poo stick? How about a little sugar? How about a little lip sugar, baby? Come on. Let's get to it.
I like when it came time to name that big rocket-shaped thing that we're going to fire into the atmosphere, that they said, well, let's go with missile. You know that means poo, right? Yeah, I know, but look at it. It looks like a big turd. All right, well, that's an unfun Christmas fact. Under the old poo stick.
What does it mean if your poo looks like a missile, specifically? I think that's a sign of a healthy, well-fibered diet, if memory serves.
The torpedoes down to the bottom, that's a ghost poop right there. We learned ghost pooping, where it disappears in the bowl.
That's right. That's right.
That's healthy.
Ornaments that are hung on Christmas trees, we all know they come in all shapes and sizes. The original ornaments were glass-blown spheres. This is where it gets a little unfun. They were originally called witch balls. Not WHICH, like which balls are these? But like as in old, big nose, boiling trouble, double bubble witch balls. They were hung in the windows of houses with bright colors that would attract and then trap witches and dark spirits.
Oh, I like that one.
The intent was to ward off bad spirits from this holy holiday. So yeah. Your Christmas will be better as long as your ornaments capture witches and bad spirits.
Well, right, exactly. And do you guys remember that doctor standing in Target that issued the warning about the emergency room last Christmas? Speaking of Christmas ornaments and trapping the witches.
So Target already has some of their Christmas decorations out, and I feel like I should stop for a moment as a doctor and give a small PSA. Do not put this where it doesn't belong. Do not put this where it doesn't belong. Do me a favor and don't put this where it doesn't belong. Or this. Or even this little one. I don't care that this is ribbed. Do not put this where it doesn't belong. Not this. Don't even think about it. Not this. Definitely not. You'll get a splinter. Anyways, happy holidays. Stay safe out there. Don't put things where they don't belong. Please. There are things that belong there. Not those.
So So basically what he's saying is on Christmas more than any other day, let's just keep things going. No in through the outdoor. We're going just one line, one direction. Keep it all on the outflow. Okay, got it. Very good. Important to know. How about this Christmas legend from Iceland? In the days leading up to Christmas. By the way, this is something the Icelandic government not that long ago said we have to ban people from telling their children this Christmas legend. In the days leading up to Christmas, a group called the Yule Lads. Oh, that's good lads, the Yule Lads. There they come. They were said to appear for the sole purpose of making children's lives more difficult. The Yule Lads are the descendants of monsters. There are 13 of them, and they each had a unique method for wreaking havoc. One might steal milk and farm animals. Another simply removes all light sources from a room, leaving traumatized children in total darkness. The group's pet was much worse. The lads were followed around by a ferocious cat whose diet consists entirely of children.
Yes.
Yeah, the cat doesn't offer the naughty or nice differentiator. It just eats you if it sees you. Doesn't care. So, yeah, the 13 descendants of monsters might come, and they got a cat who's going to eat you. Merry Christmas, Charlie.
Right? I don't know what Christmas used to be, but that's Iceland. You take a walk around Europe, a few hundred years ago, and it was really all about just terrorizing your children into being slightly better.
I guess so. I guess there was just enough things going on in Europe where you had to scare the living bejesus out of your kids in order to help them, maybe even hope they can make it to 5 years old.
Right. A lump of coal wasn't going to get the job done.
Of course, Krampus. Yes. Krampus, hell, damn near killed us. Krampus is a guy we all know, a demon with massive horns back in the day. His main job was to drag naughty children to hell. Santa doesn't really care if you've been naughty or not. He doesn't know. He doesn't trust himself enough to determine that. So he would send Krampus around the world to weed out the bad children. Now, for minor offenses, Krampus might choose to simply beat the child with a bundle of sticks. If they've been especially bad, they're tossed in his sack and brought straight to hell. Guys, seriously.
One hell of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, pretty great stuff right there. Another fun fact that's unfun about mistletoe, it's actually a parasitic plant. Mistletoe will latch onto a tree and it leaches nutrients and water from the host tree. So it was Norse mythology that said it's bad luck to refuse a kiss when under the mistletoe. Apparently, it could then suck the life out of you or something along the way. Dudes will come up with any reason to get a kiss, won't they?
Right. I get just desperate for it. Poo stick, parasite, whatever gets the lady puckered up, I guess.
Imagine the average Norseman's breath. Come on, give us a kiss. Stand under this mistletoe or it'll leach your body nutrients. All right, fine. Man, that must have been rough. Rough days.
Hey, unfun fact from the KQ Talk and Text line. Mistletoe is the state flower of Oklahoma.
What?
Really?
Good choice.
All right.
Yeah. Technically, it's a parasite.
Oklahoma?
No,
wow. I think Texas feels that way.
Yeah, probably.
We hear a lot about the Nutcracker around Christmas time every year. That music always chimes in when you least expect it on an elevator or somewhere. The beloved holiday staple is based on a fairy tale from 1816, where in this fairy tale, a young girl named Marie, she falls in love with the Nutcracker Prince, who she can only see come to life when she's asleep. And then during a battle between the Nutcracker Prince and the Mouse King, Marie cuts her arm and falls into a feverish sleep where the Mouse King then brainwashes her. I'm just going to stop right there. Yeah. Come on, seriously? Yeah. Who knew? What's nice about that?
I never really did understand what was going on up there. I sat through it a couple of times when I was younger, but a lot of dancing, I understand.
15th century in France, people believed witches, fairies, and other creatures of the occult could enter your homes through chimneys.
Oh.
This is where the whole idea of Santa Claus coming in through the chimney came from. Washington Irving borrowed this concept when he wrote a satirical piece about St. Nicholas, which evolved into the tradition that we now know. People were terrified of their chimneys back in the 15th century because, again, as I said, witches, fairies, and creatures of the occult, that's how they got in.
Or raccoons.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Kids were instructed to believe once a year, your parents are cool. To this day, I'm saying kids are allowed to. Yeah, once a year we let a guy come in through the chimney. It's fine. Let's just put out some milk and cookies. Mixed messages for sure. As your parents go set the house alarm while putting out food for some weirdo coming in through the chimney.
Right.
Go figure. All right, one last unfun fact. From for Half Christmas, a guy. There's a story from Europe in the old days. Hans Trapp. What a great name.
Yeah.
I guess it's like they. I wonder if Hans Gruber was originally Hans Trapp. It would have made sense. He made deals with the devil to make money. He's a guy wandering around Europe. He was eventually excommunicated from the church before wandering the fields of Alsace in France as a scarecrow. Along the way, he liked to slice and eat children before being struck by lightning. God finally had enough of Hans Trapp eating children, so he struck him with lightning. Parents warned their kids every Christmas the monster would come. He would abduct the badly behaved ones, and he'll take you into the forest. Look out for Hans Trapp. So, yeah, Christmas, literally, for centuries, it was just a reminder to your kids that everything can kill you.
I mean, what do you need Halloween for? You've got Christmas, for crying out loud. Nightmare Before Christmas. No kidding.
That's absolutely incredible.
Wow.
So it's not just bad myths and legends for Christmas, because since Washington Irving in the early 1800s kind of evolved the whole story about Santa Claus. Santa's a beloved guy, comes in, nibbles on a cookie, has a little glass of milk, moves on to the next house. But they're not all good. No shortage of bad Santas to share with you. That's coming up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS. The KQ Morning Show is back. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for June 25th. Half Christmas is what we call it around here. We are celebrating half Christmas. So we're not going to be here on Christmas. So we're going to spend half Christmas with you. And we're feeling very, very, very cheery, are we not?
Yeah, I think it's starting to finally settle in. The tunes really set the mood, don't they?
It certainly does. Yeah, it does.
I think
it absolutely does.
Yeah, right. A little kegnog, and we're all the way there.
Yep. Just a little taste. That's it. Just a little tasty.
I was walking around listening to that Mellencamp tune, and I had to get transported for a second. I thought, oh my God, I haven't bought one present yet. I started to panic.
A Christmas song or two, some kegnog, a Christmas scented candle. That's all it takes. If you get a song and a waft of something Christmassy in your nose, it might as well be December 25th.
Yeah, I agree. Hell, Home Depot probably has the Christmas decorations out already.
You know what? We can find out after the show. In about half an hour from now, 7:50, our game today. You've probably played along at home with us or in your car. Shock the Monkey is a staple here. Today, oh no, we're shocking an elf. We're gonna strap that little bastard right into the chair, and we're shocking an elf for KQ's Rockin' the 80s cruise tickets. That's gonna be fun at 7:50. I'm sure we've all seen Bad Santa, the Billy Bob Thornton classic Christmas film. No shortage of bad Santas in the real world. And it's amazing to me how many stories you can find about Santa Clauses, at the mall or just out in public, how drunk they are. A lot of them just pounding as it goes. Marlborough, Massachusetts. My favorite bad Santa story. A guy named Eric Watterson jumped into the Solomon Pond Mall at midnight, jumped into a mall, or rode up into a mall, I should say, wearing nothing but a Santa cap strategically placed over his front office. He was excited. He wanted to celebrate the season, put Santa's cap right on over Big Jim and the twins. And, one thing leads to another, and then he broke out in handcuffs.
Shined up his jingle bells for the
He
event.
certainly did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
Oh, man.
In Seattle, there was a drunk man dressed in a Santa Claus outfit. The police were called. He was refused a free ride on the Ride the Ducks boat in Seattle. He then tried to sneak onto the boat, ended up tearing down a string of lights on the side of the boat. Officers reported the incident. They ultimately released Santa. This was at 6:30 p.m. just on some evening. 6:30, you're hammered, you're dressed as Santa. Why not sneak onto a Ride the Duck boat?
Yeah, why not?
I do love
one of those duck boats out there.
In Boston, I was on a duck boat one time.
Yeah, you're out there. The Dells, they have the big duck boats out there. That was a big
do
deal.
they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got the duck boats out there. And if you're looking for a muddy river ride out in the middle of Wisconsin on a duck boat, that's where you go, out to the Dells. Oh, I wonder if you guys remember this. They did this and started in Philadelphia. I'm surprised this didn't happen in Philadelphia. Then New York picked up on it, and it was the big Santa pub crawl. Hundreds of people would get dressed up as Santas and go out for these pub brawls. It only took the second year for it to bust into a full-on, did I say pub brawl? Pub brawl.
Yeah, slip.
You have this like when you talk about a Santa fight, that's what you want.
Yeah, there's about 200 Santas ended up mixing it up out there. Just turned into fists of fury.
Beard pulling.
Can you imagine just driving by with your kid at that point in a taxi in New York, and there are 200 Santas just going at each other?
Well, yeah, I guess the story I would have told my kids is this is how we pick the actual Santa Claus. He's got to survive this feat of strength. It's the last man standing is Santa Claus.
Survivor Santa.
I saw something so disturbing years ago. There was a car accident, and one of the people involved was in a Santa suit. And I saw him being taken away in a stretcher. You could just see the red pants and the black boots with the buckles. It was horrible, but dark humor.
It's fantastic. That's great. Police in Berlin, Germany, got a call last holiday season. There was a guy dressed as Santa offering people shots of some sort of hooch in a paper cup. Hey, Merry Christmas. Can I pour you a shot? Yeah. A 15-year-old girl accepted, drank it, and immediately started throwing up. She was rushed to the hospital. The drink had been doused with some sort of poison. Watch out for Santa Claus offering free hooch. It's never going to be good.
Never going to be good.
It's just... Go ahead.
This isn't a bad Santa. It's just a bad thing that happened to one of Santa's helpers. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago, a guy did this skydiving Santa. Going to skydive in as Santa. Now, his chute didn't fail. It just mostly failed. It just got tangled up a little bit, and he ended up hitting the ground going probably 50, 60 miles an hour. Oh. Here he comes.
Oh, my God.
Sadly or humorously, he asked to have a picture taken while he was on the ground with a smile on his face, which is amazing because his leg was backwards.
It's amazing the things you think to say when you're completely in shock.
Get a picture of this.
I'm a contortionist.
No. Wow, my God.
They are just a Santa hitting the ground one more time.
Sadly.
It's great.
I like the fact that he came down in some pine trees. Of course he did.
Oh, appropriate.
A 73-year-old mall Santa in Saskatchewan at the Cornwall Center Mall was arrested last year. He was public intoxication. He was drinking what he called his special eggnog while greeting the children. Here's my question. Have you ever been to Saskatchewan? I have. Everyone's drunk. How drunk do you have to be noticed for being drunk in Saskatchewan in the dead of winter? If you're not drunk in Saskatchewan in the wintertime, it's because the government has told you you're not allowed to be drunk anymore. That's the only possible reason.
Right?
Holy
what
crap,
else is
man.
there to do in Saskatchewan? Like get drunk.
I took in a minor league hockey game there once. It was the most violent thing I've ever seen. I've never heard middle-aged women curse like that. The ones in the crowd watching their 15-year-old sons play hockey.
Because they were drunk.
Truly incredible. A whole different slice of humanity that I was unfamiliar with. In 1927, there was a bandit in Texas named Marshall Ratliff. That's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
I hear Marshall Ratliff is in town. He led accomplices in a raid on the First National Bank. He was dressed back then as Santa Claus. Strong. 1927, getting a Santa Claus suit to pull off a bank heist.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. At the time, it was written as the most spectacular crime in the history of the Southwest, surpassed any in which Billy the Kid or the James Boys ever figured. There was an ensuing gun battle. It was one of the biggest manhunts in the history of Texas, all for a dude in a Santa suit. And the problem was he forgot to remove it, so they eventually found him. There's that Santa. No, I'm kidding. I made that part up. I like that. And then also in Nashville, Tennessee, a gentleman rolled into a SunTrust Bank. I used to be a guy. I used to go to SunTrust Bank. Dressed as Santa Claus, stuck the place up and told everybody, I need to pay my elves. They've been working extra hard. Hand over the money.
I like a bank robber with a good line.
I do too, man. Have you ever gone, Zepp, have you ever gone with a Santa Claus suit for any reason? Have you ever been Santa at a party?
Yeah, I did do that once for a charity event for some KQ listeners. I got me all Santa'd up. I'm not, I just naturally don't have a Santa physique, and I think I was in my 30s at the time. So there was nothing about me that suggested Santa Claus, but I did the whole thing and, had fun doing it. Not one kid there. And the kids were still pretty young, 5, 6, that age group, but not one of them bought it. So I just, from the get-go, went with, I'm just Santa. Because they were looking at me like, wait a minute. I'm like, I'm Santa's helper.
Tony, ever put on a Santa suit?
Well, yeah, just at home to wander around in the living room and just be comfortable.
Your Santa jammies?
Mm-hmm.
If I were to put on, I've never done it. If I ever dressed as Santa, there would have to be a couple of cocktails. That's just how I see it.
Sure.
Yeah, it adds to the charm.
You'd make a good Santa. Big, imposing, sort of just that.
Sure.
Oh, I guess he was an elf, wasn't he? Jolly old Saint Nick was supposed to be an elf.
I don't know. I missed that origin story. I was thinking, was he? And then I thought, was he a fallen elf? And then I realized, no, that's Lucifer. A whole different thing.
Yeah, whole different thing. Well, Santa, Satan, there's a unfun fact in there somewhere. But no, I think just from 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, right? Jolly old elf.
You start partying, you're having a good time. Next thing you know, you've had too many, and you end up, you can overdo it at the Christmas parties. We've all certainly done that, whether we're dressed as Santa or not. Yeah. We've all overdone the Christmas party. And in terms of going a little too far, a bunch of stories here. My favorite, a guy writes, a colleague of his woke up and he had a horse in his backyard. He literally, turns out he was so drunk he couldn't just walk home, so he barebacked a horse from a field nearby whilst carrying a pizza and a kebab. That must be an English gentleman because, the pizza and the kebab while stinking drunk is just a staple.
I mean, just getting on the horse with the pizza and the kebab and then, getting yourself home. It's not like the horse knows where you live, It's not going back to the barn. That's kind of impressive, to be honest.
How many times have you woken up after a holiday party and you no matter what anyone tells you, or has this ever happened, you literally can't remember anything after a certain point? They're like, oh yeah, and you did this, and then you did this, and I guess that would be, I guess you could call it a blackout, and sometimes it's a merciful blackout.
Yeah.
This is one that this is way beyond anything I've ever experienced. Check this out. A few years ago, I woke up in my hotel room after a holiday party covered in blood.
Oh.
The room looked like a murder scene. One of my teeth was chipped. To this day, I have no idea what happened. I remember walking from the party back to my hotel. I remember getting into the room, getting undressed for bed, holding my clothes, getting into bed. Next morning, I walked into the bathroom. My reflection was my face covered in blood. I backed out of the bathroom into the room itself. The white sheets covered in blood. Floor covered in blood. My clothes were still neatly piled in the corner. Thankfully free of blood because there was a very expensive shirt that I really liked. I remember going to sleep. I remember waking up with a heck of a hangover, but I have no idea what happened while I was sleeping.
Well, where did the blood originate from?
That's what I'm saying. Apparently not this person. I don't know.
Right. That's not a chipped tooth with blood everywhere.
But that's a good hoax. When your friend passes out, you just bloody up the whole room. Maybe get something that looks like some body parts. I don't know. Make the guy wakes up. He's in the middle of a serial killer movie.
Right. Yeah.
Be fantastic. This is horrible, but it's kind of funny to me because I could just imagine someone being so drunk this made sense. A woman told a friend of mine at the holiday party she had cancer, and in a state of shock and pure drunkenness, he responded, "I do too."
Oh my God!
It's just, you're trying to be like supportive and empathetic. Mm-hmm. You're like, "Oh, me too," and then you have to go into a long story about what you're doing to handle your diagnosis. Oh my God, that's great. My manager peed herself on the dance floor, removed her panties, and then plugged them at a colleague's husband. Yeah, the holiday. What is it about the holiday work party? I guess I know the answer. It's like you spend all year buttoned up and stiff around folks, and then all of a sudden, your third drink is you just remove the governor and press the throttle all the way to the floor. Yeah,
I was a small little station I'm working at in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Our general manager, a woman, very respectable. To us anyway, she wore a business suit every day. She was very authoritative and not like us stupid DJs, right? Mm-hmm. At the Christmas party at the American Legion that year, she comes out of the bathroom topless to sing a Christmas song on the microphone.
Topless.
Super drunk, slurring her words really bad. Even I kind of felt sorry for her and put a coat around her, which is not really my MO, certainly not in my 20s. But I was like, oh, you're going to regret this. Didn't come to work for 2 weeks. We thought, we're like, was she fired? She said, no, she's just taking a little time off. Maybe she went to get some help.
Yeah, and you can certainly make up a story about I bumped my head earlier in the night. I have no idea what happened. I'm still waiting on the test results to see what the damage is.
Yeah, topless.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong. Yeah. Is there any song that immediately sends you into the mode? Like what's there's all sorts of Christmas music, but is there the one that once you hear it, either in a good or bad way, you're like, okay, now it's on. Now it's really this time of year. Because for me, I can tell you this: my favorite Christmas song ever, I'd never heard it until last year. And that would be Linda Bennett's An Old-Fashioned Christmas, Daddy's Home. I've played this song for so many people over the last 8 months. I just came across it last Christmas. I love so much about it. I love Dad ringing the doorbell.
Yes,
it's of his own home.
Yeah,
I love, like you said, Zep, they're celebrating. Hey, no, those other 36 people are dead, but not this guy. Merry Christmas.
Keep in mind the number 5 bus or whatever it was there. That's the bus he takes every day. So he knows those people on the bus. Those are friends of his.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Those are at least acquaintances of his that are all dead on Christmas Eve. But he made it.
He's probably thinking that I always wanted to wear a fedora like that one guy, but I couldn't be seen to be copying him. But now I can because the fedora guy's dead.
Finally, I'm free.
Finally, I can fedora myself.
Oh, man.
Man, you got to be pretty flexible to fedora yourself. I know that. It's like a lot of yoga if you want to get into that sort of thing.
It's been years.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June 25th. Half Christmas if you're just joining us. I know somebody's like driving, hops in the car, and they're like, "What? Why are they playing Bob and Doug McKenzie?"
Right.
Yeah.
In a beer. For the more discerning comedy fans of the late 70s, early 80s, SCTV, man. Friday nights were all about SCTV in my life. And when they put the album out, the Great White North record and all I listen to that song and I'm just right back. It's what, 1980, maybe 1981, and I just feel like. Do you want to know what a dork I was? I thought because I liked SCTV that made me cool. That's how dorky I was.
I think it made you cool.
Absolutely, it did. I remember there were people that didn't know what it was. I'd say something like Hoser, eh? Or just Dr. Tongue, make a reference to Dr. Tongue's 3D house.
The best.
Yeah, exactly. And people, if they looked at you confused. Yeah, they didn't get it.
They're not your people.
No, they weren't. They weren't in the cool car.
No, we would do that. We would lean into each other and go, like the 3D. Yeah, the 3D thing. Oh, man. When 2005 or 6, all the old SCTVs came out on DVD, and I remember I went and bought the entire, set.
Yeah.
And I was nervous to put it on because I thought, what if it doesn't hold up and it's not nearly, and I kid you not, it was better. 20 years later, 25 years later, it not only held up, it aged really well. And it just kind of blew my mind, especially then you look back and realize they were all in their 20s. They were just kids. Eugene Levy was probably 30, maybe at that time. They were all so young and just left alone to do whatever they wanted, basically. What an amazing show SCTV was.
John Candy went on to a very successful film career, obviously, but his SCTV days, he was
incredible.
He was the funniest man walking the planet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely incredible. So to celebrate the fact that it's half Christmas, that's right, June 25th, we're not going to be here Christmas Day. We always have that week off. And so we thought, screw it. What else is happening on Tuesday, June 25th? Nothing. Let's celebrate half Christmas. So we've been doing it all day. We're going to continue that on the KQ Talking text line, 651-989-ROCK. Kenton with a great text. He said, we heard from Bob and Doug McKenzie a few minutes ago. He wrote, Bob and Doug, we would be late to first hour, 10th grade, because this song was on KQ in the 1969 Chevelle SS 396 Muncie 4-speed that we picked up for $375. Hell yeah, Trenton.
Must have been some rust.
Man, a little bit of something, but it worked.
Yeah, no kidding. Back in the day.
That's great.
I had a friend of mine text me, hey, you guys all right? I texted back, yeah, what's up, man? I forgot while Mommy was kissing Santa Claus was playing. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus. He thought we had gotten canned, and it was some stunt. They were playing Christmas music that morning.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, well, it is a stunt, but we're involved.
I like that Tony just shared with us. The Catholic Church initially banned that song. They said it's an adulterous affair. Mommy and Saint Nick getting busy out in the woodshed.
They don't get the base joke of the entire. All right. Well, leave it to the church.
That's what it is. What are you going to do? Another text of note. We were talking about Christmas parties that went a little overboard. Wally texted in, saw my first real-life boobs when I was 15 at a company holiday party.
Yes, the boobs came out. My general manager, I told the story earlier, a very respectable business person in the community. Comes out of the bathroom topless to sing us a Christmas song.
Wally was selected to be a designated driver and brought to the bar afterwards. On the drive home, one guy's wife started stripping for the hot tub a little early.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas indeed.
How about that?
Thank you, God. Man. That's literally the origin story of 31 movies released between 1980 and 1984.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just the title, Private Lessons. There was always these movies about 15-year-old boys and the French teacher from the high school. It was every one of them was the same. Mm-hmm. And I was not old enough to get into any of them, but boy, I wanted to.
Risky Business. That was one of them. A young Tom Cruise, and I forget the
Rebecca De Mornay, but she was
De Mornay.
Hooker.
Yeah.
I just read a thing today. I believe today is Diane Lane's birthday. And it mentioned the fact that Tom Cruise originally wanted Diane Lane for Risky Business.
Of course he did.
And for the record, let the record state that so did Steve Gorman. Diane Lane's been I've been on I had Diane Lane stock in 1979 in A Little Romance. That was always, she's always been my girl. That's my first and longest lasting celebrity crush. So it's not her birthday. I just looked that up. I was wrong.
Do you get kind of pissy when other guys say that? Oh yeah, Diane Lane, me too. I had a huge crush on her. That's my gal. Do you get
No, I do. And I always immediately go, no, dude, I'm the one who went to see Little Romance in the theater and got mocked mercilessly. Me and 38 girls enjoyed that film.
I mocked you on this radio show for watching that one.
You sure did. I'd watch it.
Unfaithful.
Yeah, I did, Tony, and it was upsetting, frankly. Frankly, that bastard Richard Gere.
Right.
Actually, he was like the cuckold in that one, if memory serves. It was that French dude.
Right.
Can't turn your back on the French, man.
No, he needed a shampoo real bad.
Yeah, he needed a lot of things real bad. Christmas, half Christmas, I should say, is the theme today. We're having a great time. Again, 8:50. We're giving away tickets. We're playing another game because that's how drunk on Christmas cheer we are. But in the meantime, Christmas has changed a whole lot over the last, give or take, 100 years or so, and we'll explain some of those ways. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
We're celebrating half Christmas. Look, we're not going to be here on Christmas. That week, we're usually off the air. So we figured, it's June 25th. What the hell else are we going to talk about? The Stanley Cup's done. The Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers 2-1 last night. If you were still paying attention to the hockey playoffs, this was almost a collapse of legendary status. The Panthers had a 3-0 lead. The Oilers battled back to go to Game 7, I should say, but the Panthers took care of business at home last night. They play in Sunrise, Florida, I believe, which is near Fort Lauderdale, which is near Miami. It's just all a mess down there. Way too many people, way too humid for hockey. But anyway, all this to say the Florida Panthers have now won the Stanley Cup. They'll be drinking out of that trophy and doing the stuff people do with the Stanley Cup. So I guess congratulations to them. Hope springs eternal for the Minnesota Wild. Training camp's right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner. Here we go. They had the most talent on their team. I mean, they were the team that probably should have won it. That was left here in the finals and the Cup playoffs, but they're a little more talented than the Oilers. But you got to give the Oilers fighting back and making it interesting.
No question about it. That's if the Oilers had won that game last night, the city of Edmonton would have taken the next 6 weeks off. There's just no way they could have gotten a single person to ever go to work or do anything remotely responsible for a month and a half. It would have been incredible.
When's the last time a Canadian hockey team won the Cup? It feels like it's been forever. Anyway,
you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'd have to Google it, but I feel like it's been a long time.
It has been a while. That just means Americans are better at hockey. I say that knowing that everyone's like, there's Canadians on every team, dumbass. But, hey, man, take it what you can. I
love that the Wild are going back to the North Stars colors.
Sorry, that's my phone talking. Do you want to know why?
Please.
Because I just asked Siri off air when the last time a Canadian NHL team won the Stanley Cup. And do you know what answer she spit out?
What'd she say?
Unbelievably, 1993.
Last year? No.
1993.
Are you serious?
Yeah, right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So, hilarious. In your face, Canada. I'm just having a hard time accepting that.
I know. I had to go. Montreal's 1993 Stanley Cup champs are watching as Edmonton can end Canada's title drought. That was printed one day ago.
Wow.
Holy crap, man.
Well, 2 years ago, just 1 year ago. What? By the way, it's over for Canada when a team in Las Vegas wins the Stanley Cup. It's like, what could possibly say the world that you once knew is never coming back than Las Vegas celebrating a win in the playoffs? Things do change. Make no mistake about it. So we're 31 years since a Canadian team carried Lord Stanley's Cup into the offseason. That is mind-boggling to me. There is a lot of things have changed around Christmas. As I said, we're talking about half Christmas, having a good time here on the show today. Christmas cheer. 100 years ago, Christmas in the United States was a very, very, very different type of holiday. Firstly, on the list of things that were very different back in the day, oyster souffle was a staple of Christmas dinner. Oysters were plentiful and very cheap 100 years ago. Typical festive menus always involved an oyster dish, as well as plum pudding, turkey, chestnuts, boiled ham, the usuals. But there was a oyster souffle that was a just commonplace. No, thank you.
You ever get the smoked oysters in the can?
No, sir.
Yes,
I love those.
Yeah, they're not bad. The smokier the better. Yeah, it's not something you want to gaze into. You just want to get it in your mouth as quickly as possible and wash it down, but not bad.
Put her on a cracker, hot diggity.
Yeah.
Well, if you smoke it enough, anything's going to be okay. So I could see that happening.
It's better than that in Greenland. Their Christmas delicacy.
What's that?
Kiviak. It's the body of a seal stuffed with the carcasses of around 400 auks. That's a small bird. Then they leave it outside for 3 to 18 months. The air is squeezed out of the seal. Then the body is coated with seal grease to prevent it from rotting. Then the ox ferment inside the seal and then when they open it up, you eat the ox raw.
Top it off with a little haggis.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, so much for the tourism of Greenland going anywhere anytime soon. Holy smokes. 100 years ago, people would sing Christmas carols as they do now. However, back then, they would dress in full-body cloaks and wear masks. It was pretty spooky. And it was a throwback to a pagan tradition called mumming, where revelers would wear disguises to visit their neighbors' houses, singing and dancing in return for food, money, and booze. Everything's got a precursor, even Christmas caroling. It used to be, no, really, I'm broke and I'm thirsty and hungry. I'm going to go sing for my neighbor.
Yeah, it all came back to the feast and the food, didn't it? Did you guys ever Christmas carol?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I did that a few times as a kid.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I think we did once. Our church group went to an old folks' home and sat out there, and very captive. I remember a very enthusiastic audience.
100 years ago, trees were illuminated with real candles. What could have ever gone wrong?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's not good at all, man. Let's see what else we got from the old days. Soldiers in World War I in the trenches lined the trenches with Christmas trees.
Oh, well, that's
something that you just don't see much anymore. Trench warfare is so 20th century.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Thankfully, all of these stories tell me the same thing. I'm a man of my time, and I'm very glad that that's the case.
Yeah,
I wasn't built for 100 years ago.
No, it's really after World War II. What was it? Coca-Cola that came up with our Fine Santa that we kind of celebrate and use today, or showed up in one of those old magazines, I guess. Harper's Bazaar. But before that, it was just Christmas was kind of creepy and tough on kids. I guess life kind of was. Post World War II in America got a lot better for us kiddos.
Yeah, everything was hard times.
Did you ever get a weird Christmas gift or a gift you legitimately hated? I shared earlier, I was dating a girl in college, and for Christmas one year she gave me clothes like I was 4. She gave me a pair of khakis and a nice dress shirt. And, of course, that led very quickly to the end of our relationship because I was like, no, by God, I will not dress like a young adult.
No, I used to hate that my grandmother every year got us black socks. Got all of us kids and some other things, too. She would like to make things. But everybody got a 6-pack of black socks. Oh. But when I was growing up, you didn't wear black socks. It was white socks. That was the fashion. In the late 70s, early 90s. And I just hated. So Mom's like, go put your black socks on. I'm like, I'm not. That's what Dad wears. That's what the old man wears. We're kids. We wear white socks. But that's really nitpicking.
I got a present from an ex one time. Her ex's mom, who evidently she thought that, I don't know, Tony, you like this because he's kind of silly and odd, but it was a book about the history of chimpanzees. I thought, what do you think of me?
The history of chimpanzees?
Yes. It's like a National Geographic book about chimps. Like, how thoughtful.
Doesn't even have the boobs in it.
I liked it.
Man. It's I like the history of chimpanzees as if they were invented one day.
Throughout time.
That's pretty great. I I got a lot of attention one Christmas. My sister, who lived in Washington, D.C., or as we called it, the big city. We called everything a big city in a small town in Kentucky. Came in for Christmas and brought me, I think I was in 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. I would have to double check the year. But she gave me under the tree, opened up my package, and I stared at this thing going, what in the hell is a Rubik Cube? And she said, she goes, it's Rubik's Cube. And I go, what is this? She goes, this is the biggest thing in the world, which, of course, I was always on a 3-month delay living as I did in a small town in Kentucky. I opened this Rubik's Cube up, and for the next 10 days from Christmas until we went back to school, I tried everything to figure out how to solve this puzzle. I could get one side done. I could do one side in one color. And then once, literally by accident, I got a second side. I had the two sides that were opposite each other were solid. And I felt pretty much like Albert Einstein when that happened. I was like, I am a literal genius. I brought that Rubik's Cube to school in January. Nobody in my school had ever seen it or even heard of it yet. So I was like the coolest dude in town for a hot minute. And I showed it to my first class of the day, and it was a math class. The teacher, Mr. Stevens, he actually had read a thing about this. He goes, I've been wanting to see one of these. And he was messing with it, trying to figure it out. And then he handed it to a kid named Donnie Messick, who was a year older than me. And he was a future biochemist. Genius valedictorian. And this kid had never heard of a Rubik's Cube. He'd never seen a Rubik's Cube. He watched our teacher play with it. He took it in his hand. He messed with it for a few minutes, set it down, picked it up again. All told, less than, I'd say, 10 minutes in his hands, and he had solved it.
Oh, he nailed it.
Yeah, one of those guys.
One of those guys. It literally just connected with his brain. And I never felt I've never been, I was almost homicidally angry. I was like, you have stolen 1,000% of my thunder for owning the first Rubik's Cube in this county.
Right.
And I mean, I'd never pick that thing up again. I was like, yeah, fine, keep it. I don't care. I was so put out that this kid, but he literally, again, now you see people do these competitions. They, you grow up with a Rubik's Cube, it's all around. He had never seen it. And then, I mean, literally less than 10 minutes, he had it figured out. And I was like, you are a complete freak. And speaking of the Rubik's Cube, the world record for a Rubik's Cube, and if you've ever seen the videos of how they do these, you have a competition, and the competitor, it's not quite as exciting as Nathan's hot dog thing on the 4th of July, but you see a kid, usually a teenager. He's sitting at a table. He's blindfolded. They hand him a Rubik's Cube. He gets they hand him a cube, and he has 10 seconds to look at it. Can't make any moves, but he just analyzes where all the pieces are. Looks at the colors, and then they say go, and he's got to immediately solve the Rubik's Cube. The world record is 3.13 seconds.
Nuts.
And you watch these videos, it's crazy. Well, now the world record from 3.13 seconds has been shaved to 0.305 seconds.
No.
By a robot.
Oh. Well,
it solved a Rubik's Cube in a third of a second, which really that doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. I don't care.
Yeah.
The fact that a robot can do it in 1 second is nowhere near as impressive as a human doing it in 3 seconds. And I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take you up on that. So, yeah, good for you, robot. Now, go ahead and vacuum my apartment.
Yeah, thank you.
Paulie just called, and he said that the record for doing it without looking is just a few seconds longer.
How
maybe
the hell
10
can
seconds.
you do it without looking?
I don't know.
They're different colors. We were the poor.
No, I think he means without looking ahead of time. You don't get a few seconds to analyze it first.
Yeah.
They just hand it to you and say go.
Oh, yeah. You had mentioned that in the contest. Yeah. That's how they do that. Yeah, you can't sit there and eyeball it up that would matter for me. But
man,
we had the generic. So we were always a year behind. I didn't get to see Star Wars till the next summer when it was released. I didn't get to see Jaws till the next summer when it was released. It had to be something really big and super bona fide, and then my parents would finally acquiesce, and we got the generic stuff, So we got the Rubik's Cube a year after it was uncool. aren't cool anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody had already solved it and kind of gone through that, and then boom, it shows up at our place, probably as a Christmas gift, the good old Rubik's Cube. But it wasn't even a Rubik's Cube. It was something called the Bucket Cube or Bucket's Cube or something.
Rob's Block.
Yeah, right. And it had different colors. So I'm like, I can't even take this to school. It's different colors. There's a off gray or something. I'm like, no, I can't.
I couldn't get the real Adidas. I had ones that had 4 stripes instead of 3.
Oh, yeah.
So obvious.
Stripers, yeah, it was obvious.
Man, I grew up drinking something from a store called Pop Shop. We didn't get Coca-Cola. We got Pop Shop sodas. It was like, no, it's good, Mom. Thanks for the Pop Shop. It tastes just like Coke. Lovely young lad I was. So the Rubik's Cube came out. I don't know what year that would have been. Like I said, late 70s, maybe the early 80s. It was the toy, man. You could not get enough of that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at a list. The year I was born, 1965, the top toy of the year, the all the craze was the Whammo Frisbee.
Oh yeah.
That was the new Frisbee. Took over the world in 1965, which that's a good one. I like a Frisbee. I'm still happy to throw a Frisbee anytime I get a chance.
Oh,
it's a classic for
summertime.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Tony, the year of your birth, sir, if you don't mind my asking.
60. Oh, let me. Paulie called back to correct. He said, no, it is indeed blindfolded when you do the Rubik's Cube.
What?
Not looking means not looking.
How can you?
Good Lord!
You get to look at it first and just get the general situation, the layout,
crazy.
and then they blindfold you.
All right. Well, they're never going to get laid.
Wow.
That's what I'm taking. That's my small.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a threesome with twins.
Unbelievable.
This is absolutely
you'll
incredible.
Own the world, but yeah, good luck with the beer bong, nerd.
Tony, sorry, back to your
60.
Back in 60. I was thinking it was 61. Well, this is a good one for you. The number one toy that year, the new hot thing, the Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, absolutely.
Etch-a-Sketch is pretty great.
They still cranking those out?
Oh, yeah.
The pun? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they are. I was thinking you were 61, and that was exciting because 1961 was the slip and slide.
Oh, slip and slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are still around.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Zep, what are you, 66?
Yes, sir.
Twister, my man.
Oh,
Twister.
Oh, cool.
The big toy of the year of your birth.
I remember
Milton Bradley's got a hot one. It's the Twister.
Check this out. Milton Bradley was initially nervous about how to market the game. They worried that the game had, quote, frisky undertones.
It does.
And it might blemish their upright reputation.
Hey, I forget how old I was when we got Twister. Pretty young. I mean, not a toddler, but maybe 6 or 7 years old. And it was fun. It was a goof. Your cousins came over. And then about, 5 or 6 years later, I was 12 or 13, and my cousins were coming over. Mm-hmm. Some of them were young ladies, and we were playing Twister. And yeah, it felt different.
Yeah, oh, sure.
To twist around with your cousins at about 13 years of age. I'm like, this feels different to me.
In May of 1966, Johnny Carson played a game of Twister with the beautiful and buxom Ava Gabor on The Tonight Show.
Well, there it
and,
is.
And there it was. The game exploded. They sold 3 million units between May 3rd and the end of the year.
I bet.
Yeah, that's pretty strong right there. Ryder, do you care to share the year of your birth?
Sure, and I know the toy too because it was burned into my brain. 1983 would be the Cabbage Patch doll. You don't even have to look at the list.
Oh my God, that's right.
Here's the deal. I've been told it was like, the first kind of Tickle Me Elmo hot toy that people had to rush to the stores to get. So my mom bought and she was not really a seamstress, bought the heads of the Cabbage Patch dolls and sewed me and my sister Cabbage Patch dolls by hand.
Oh, well,
like a voodoo doll.
Wow.
It was like a voodoo doll. I know, it sounds really sweet now, but I was so pissed off because my sisters had hair and mine was bald.
It's a Sinead O'Connor doll.
Well, they're bald.
Holy smokes.
Super creepy. Did you keep it locked in the closet?
I did not. No, I mean, you had to play with it. She made it by hand. Had to have it out and play with it. It sat on the end of the bed. It was still kind of creepy. I do not. Okay. She might have it. I don't.
Wow. That's fast. That's great. I love the handmade Cabbage Patch.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, that's the first I remember. So I would have been a junior that year, so 17. I remember seeing on the news, that was the first toy I saw parents fighting over in a store.
Oh, yeah.
That news story, and you talked about that might have been the first of the big, you got to have this presents, and parents were elbowing down the aisles to try and get the last Cabbage Patch off the shelf.
They could have just sewn one. Would have been a whole lot simpler. No fighting.
That's right. To go back, Rubik's Cube hit the scene in 1980. It was designed by Erno Rubik in 1974. He called it the Magic Cube, but then a company called Ideal Toy and Novelty bought it from him, renamed it Rubik's Cube. 100 million of those were sold in the first 2 years they went to market. Wow. That's some serious coin. And then 1979, I just saw this one too. And this was a Gorman family staple at Christmas of 79. Simon. Do you remember Simon?
Simon, yes.
The four colored keypads, all with a different tone.
Yes.
And they would light up, and then it was a memory game. Do you remember the pattern? And you'd hit them. I was great at that game. I was like, I'm going to rock Simon, man. Again.
Smack it.
Again, that's how cool I was. I could dominate at a game of Simon.
Unveiled, I see here at Studio 54. Of all places.
I never did it high on Coke. Maybe that was the difference. Maybe that's what would have made it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, June 25th, or as we're calling it around here, half Christmas. We are halfway to Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. 6 months from today, we will be celebrating, although we, the KQ Morning Show, will not be on the air live, so we're doing it today. Half Christmas is what it is. This just in, on 494 and Nicolette in Bloomington, there is a, what are we calling this guy? Half Santa?
Yes.
Is up on the overpass right now?
Because he's half dressed.
A dude, he's got the Santa beard, the cap, the red pants, topless. Guy looks ripped. He's been doing his push-ups for sure.
He's chiseled.
Yeah, maybe in the off season, Santa just cuts weight and just gets ripped, and then starts just pigging out come winter, like a lot of us do.
Man, he's looking good. Yeah, he's got 6 months to bulk back out. He's really streamlined here. But so if you're 494 Nicolette, good looking Santa down there. Well done, bro. Wow. Jeez.
Just hanging out.
I appreciate everybody getting into the mood with us for half Christmas.
Waiting for the sleigh to come in and rescue him, take him away, I guess. I don't know.
Also on the Facebook page, Terry posted, "We needed an excuse for treats at work. Thanks for giving us one. Bunch of cookies with a bunch of cookies purchased and the words Merry Half Christmas written on the packaging."
Nice.
Getting into the vibe there. Very, very nicely done. All right, speaking of getting into the vibe, what is Christmas without giving? It doesn't exist. It's all about giving. Mike Campbell of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers now has his band Mike Campbell and the Dirty Nobs. Dirty Knobs sounds dirty, doesn't it? Sounds naughty. The Dirty Knobs, they're at the Fitzgerald Theater on July 5th. Mike Campbell is as good as it gets in terms of your guitar heroes over the last 50 years in rock history. Just a truly astounding talent. A man who's been on way more recording sessions than just Tom Petty. He is a staple in the LA recording scene, a great guy. He's going to be playing at the Fitzgerald Theater with an awesome band, and we want to send a listener to the show.
Let's play. Yes, sir. It's time for Yes or BS. What we're going to do is give you a statement, and you simply decide yes, it's true, or no, it's total BS. And, of course, the topic today is Christmas.
Love it. Love it for Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs. Who is contestant number one?
Number one is our buddy Jerome from Matamidai.
Jerome, good morning.
Morning.
Are you a Mike Campbell fan? Are you a fan of his work with the Heartbreakers?
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to put you on my. I'm having trouble. I'm driving.
Okay.
There. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure can.
Oh, good. Okay. See, a lot of times I can't. So what's up?
Well, I'll tell you what's up, brother. It's I want to say Merry Half Christmas.
Oh yeah. I'm there.
Yeah. All right. So we got Tom Petty. We have Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs tickets. Mike Campbell, of course, Tom Petty's guitarist, right-hand man for all those years. July 5th at the Fitzgerald. It's yes or BS. You tell us if it's true or BS. Good luck to you, sir.
All right,
Jer Bear, number 1. In the movie The Muppet Christmas Carol, Scrooge was played by Vin Diesel. Yes or BS?
Fuck.
Easy, Jerome.
No. All right. Well, Mike Campbell says it, so let's go.
Mike Campbell does not say it on these airwaves.
That's right.
Okay. Anyways, I'll say false.
Correct. It is BS. Michael Caine played that part, so good job there.
I get those guys.
Mr.
I always
Sassy.
say Vin Diesel was Alfred in the Batman movies. No, that's right. It was Michael Caine. I get them confused all the time.
Understood.
Okay. I have no clue.
Sometimes a man just wants to burn the world down, sir. Vin Diesel's greatest performance. I'm sorry, damn it, Michael Caine. I see I did it again.
Yes, I know. You got Vin on your mind. Jerome, number 2, in the song Frosty the Snowman, Frosty comes to life on Christmas Eve. Yes or BS?
True.
Boom.
Correct. No, wait. Oh, for God's sakes.
Wait, hold on.
You were incorrect. BS, the song never actually mentions Christmas.
Incorrect? Oh.
Sorry, Jer.
Oh, okay.
This is like La La Land all over again. Did not win Best Picture.
No.
All right, you're 1 for 2, Jerome.
Vin Diesel never mentions Christmas.
That's right.
Number 3, according to Buddy the Elf, the 4 main food groups are candy, candy canes, candy corn, and syrup. Yes or BS?
Oh, that's true.
Yes, it is. Nobody knows better.
It sounds like Jerome is saying not only did he say that, it's also true, just objectively true.
Right. All right, Jerome, number 4, kissing under the mistletoe wasn't a thing until 1954.
Yeah.
Correct. People were already doing it in England in the 1800s.
Attaboy.
The old poo stick.
Don't mind that stick of poo. Give us a snog.
And your last one, Jerome, number 5. Santa doesn't have 24 hours to deliver all his presents. He actually has 31 hours.
That's BS.
Incorrect. He does. As long as he travels east to west, he has 31 hours because of time zones and the rotation of the earth. You silly man.
Wow.
Science. We're applying science to Santa. I love it.
Man, bummer.
That's all right, Jerome. You got 3 out of 5 and an F-bomb. It's a great morning for you. And we're going to put you on hold for a second, brother, and let's go on to contestant number 2. Who we got?
Welcome, Jay from White Bear Lake.
Jay, good morning.
Good morning.
Merry half Christmas, sir.
Merry half Christmas to you, too.
That's the right answer, brother. All right, Mike Campbell tickets on the table. Yes or BS? Good luck.
Good luck, Jay. Number 1, people have been buying Christmas trees since the 1500s.
That's true.
It is true. The Germans started selling them in the 1500s, 1530s.
Wow. I thought you were going to say, no, they didn't start selling them until 1900. But wow, that's amazing. Selling them that long ago.
Yeah, no kidding, considering that 75% of that country is covered in forest and pine. But
yeah,
people would even back then would rather buy them than cut them down.
Yeah.
How about that? Number 2, there are just under 2,000 Christmas tree farms in the United States. Yes or BS?
BS.
Correct. The real number is 15,000. Around 350 million Christmas trees are currently growing on 350,000 acres of land.
Holy smokes.
Right.
Fun fact.
You know who sells a lot of Christmas trees? Owns a giant Christmas tree farm outside of Macon, Georgia?
Who dat?
Rolling Stones piano player Chuck Leavell.
Really?
Fun fact. Yes, sir.
Sounds like it could be fairly lucrative.
He's doing okay. Last I checked.
Number 3, Walgreens sells more Christmas trees in the U.S. than any other retailer. Yes or BS?
BS.
Correct. Home Depot does. They sold 2.6 million trees last year.
Wow.
Good for them.
Yeah, I was really sweating it. I was like, man, if you're buying a tree at Walgreens, you've made some questionable life choices.
A little teeny Charlie Brown one.
Yeah, well, the early years.
2 more for you. Number 4, Christmas trees are grown in all 50 states. Yes or BS?
BS.
I'm sorry. They even grow them in Hawaii, the states that produce the most trees, or Oregon, North Carolina, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Washington. But 80% of fake trees come from China. FYI.
That's...
Just can't resist side swiping our Chinese friends.
That's right. Well,
Hawaiian Christmas tree, man.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like a palm tree, but still.
I think Bing laid down one of those, didn't he? Wasn't that Bing?
Boy, that was pretty.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Your last one, Jay. On average, it takes only 2 years for a Christmas tree to grow to the ideal height of 6 or 7 feet. Yes or BS?
Yes.
BS. I'm sorry. It takes an average of 7 years.
Wow.
But it can take up to 15.
Man, Jay started strong, struggled at the end. 3 for 5. That means you and Jerome, sir, are tied.
Wow.
For the second time today, we're going to go to extra innings. Free baseball. No, we've got a tiebreaker. Gentlemen?
We're not going to need it, though, because Jerome dipped out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, Jerome.
So yeah, you can certainly ask the tiebreaker if you want to, Tony, but tickets are going to Jay.
Wow. Well, then maybe let's yeah, Jay, congrats, brother. 3 for 5, and you and enough to scare Jerome away. So very well played.
Yeah, you heard those first couple of answers and thought this guy's on a run. I'm out of here.
Wow. That's fantastic. All right, Jay, congrats. July 5th, Mike Campbell and Dirty Knobs. You're going to have a good time. I promise you. Cheers.
All right. Thank you much.
Man, so, wow, Jerome, we hardly knew ye.
You know, these morning hours. Sometimes people get, called at 9 o'clock, top of the hour. He's probably someone standing out there looking at their watch going, Jerome, got to get moving here, buddy.
That could do it. 20 years ago, in 2004, I was asked if I wanted to play on a session in Los Angeles, a little rock and roll recording session at a studio. And I went down. It was a singer-songwriter from North Carolina. Her name is Tiff Merritt. Great writer, great singer. Okay. Mutual friend said, I'm working with Tiff Merritt. Do you want to do drums on a song? And I said, sure. And I go down into a studio, and I'm anticipating it's just going to be a bunch of dudes that, like just some guys maybe I know, maybe I don't. But she was not like a major star, and so you just imagine it's going to be some unknowns in there. I walk in, and sitting first chair in the studio is our guy Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, hey, Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. What are you doing here? Couldn't have been a nicer guy, and just played. He worked that whole session as if he were, needed the gig, struggling. I mean, he was totally dialed in, focused, just loved studio work, and I've never looked at that guy the same way since. I was like, man, what an awesome dude. Super friendly, happy to work. And I don't know who he knew. I don't know how he got roped into that session, but same kind of thing. He's like, he's already 25 years into being that guy from Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, and he's just doing a session like anybody else on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
great dude.
Yes.
What are we listening to now? What's happening?
Rhythm and blues version of O Tenenbaum. Oh, Tenenbaum.
Did you say rhythm and blues?
That's what it's labeled.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Rhythm and blues.
Hey now.
Man, I tell you what, this half Christmas thing, I mean, is it crazy to suggest that we also pull out a 2/3 Christmas and a 3/4 Christmas?
You're getting greedy, Steve.
I'm getting greedy.
That's
I know.
Okay. That's all right. It's okay to get greedy about that Christmas spirit, that feeling.
I want more presents under the tree. That's what it comes down to. Just need more and more and more.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Tuesday, June 25th, or as we call it around here, half Christmas. Very much appreciate the generosity and the goodwill we've received today. We're just trying to shake up late June, the early doldrums of summer. Why not celebrate the fact that we're halfway to Christmas? We're not going to be here on Christmas Day in December, so we're doing it today. Just a little bit of love from us to you.
It's beautiful.
It feels good. I mean, even my old Grinch heart has grown 2 sizes bigger this morning.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Are you going to celebrate by getting off the air in a little bit, going home and watching your favorite Christmas movies by any chance?
Sure, Steve, I am.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what might be on your list. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to drop this a little piece of information for you. And I think I shared this last year at the end of the year, but it still holds true. I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
I mean, I admire you for that. I don't know how you had to actively avoid it. I mean, you just, right. I mean, when did you put your foot down, draw the line in the sand, Steve Gorman, and say, not watching it, won't do it?
It's just one of those things. It wasn't a family favorite, I guess. Like in my house, if Wizard of Oz was on, we had to watch it, right? If The Sound of Music is on, we had to watch it. If It's a Mad, 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 Mad World was on, we had to watch it. There's certain family movies.
Oh, yeah.
And around Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life just did not ring out. It really didn't register with either parent, apparently. Yeah. Now, Miracle on 34th Street, right. we would sit there and watch that all day long.
Oh, yeah.
But for whatever reason, It's a Wonderful Life just never crossed over. And at some point, probably by the time I was in college, I was aware of the fact that everybody else on Earth has seen it a billion times. And I probably read a brief summary and went, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Steve, I mean, you've got to keep this going to your grave. Do not watch it.
Oh, no, never will. I mean, I've had plenty of experiences and opportunities. I've been in a room when it's on and I look up and see it, but I'm like, yeah, no, never. Start to finish, never a chance.
Have you ever upset anyone where they're like just pissed off you haven't watched it?
Oh, yeah. No, it really gets under people's skin. Absolutely. That and the show Friends. I've never seen an episode of Friends either.
Oh, I just heard like 5 people I know go, what?
Right. Yeah, at this point, the word quest comes to mind. I'm on a quest to never see It's a Wonderful Life or Friends.
God bless you.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things, but neither one of them by design initially anyway. You just look up one day and you recognize I'm well into a streak I didn't even know I was on. This is great.
Yeah, keep it going. All right, so what is your Christmas movie? What's your go-to? You're channel surfing, you hit this one, you never change the channel.
I tell you what, man, I will say, and it's such a recent entry, but I never tire of Elf.
Oh, yeah.
No. I mean, It's one of those, like, the kids were the perfect age when it came out, so we could watch it a million times. But right now, like, if I turn on Elf, if I'm flipping channels, I'm going to just sit there and start watching. There's just no getting around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Every scene stands alone. You can just jump in anywhere. And that was it. My girls were about that age. So I feel like that was our first Christmas movie we really latched on to. So Elf is a no-brainer for me. Christmas Vacation, of course, because I was, young. I was, in that frat boy stage of my life, although I never belonged to a fraternity. I mean, it was just the 80s. And I was a human pig when Christmas Vacation came out. So anything Lampoon did, I was all over. So that's a big one up there for sure. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna die on this hill, as you like to say. Die Hard. Every Christmas I watch it. That's a Christmas movie.
100% Christmas movie.
Thank you.
I've never even entertained the concept that it's not a Christmas movie.
I get blowback on that one.
I know. Yeah. And it whips up every year, not around this time, but around December time.
Yeah.
And every year I just think, I don't know what else you need. Every scene has Christmas material, either visually or sonically. You hear it or see something to do with Christmas every scene of the movie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't have to sell me on. What about some of the more clever ones like Scrooged or Bad Santa?
I got to go with Scrooged.
You like Scrooged?
Yeah, I love Scrooged.
That's
cute.
It's Bill Murray. So,
and I think that's a movie that ages well. I think the older you get, it has a little bit more resonance. I liked it when I was like a college kid, but I saw it in the last 5 or 6 years, and it was way better than I remembered. It struck me as, there's a little bit more going on here. I could, when you're 20, you're like, I get middle-aged ennui. But then when you are experiencing middle-aged ennui yourself, you're like, this really is a little bit more on the nose than I realized as a kid.
Now, Steve, here's one you're going to have to add to your Christmas collection, and you may not have watched it, and I understand why you may not have watched it, but Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way, and this is why it has to make your playlist now, because 92 KQRS is featured in the movie. Well, featured. Makes a cameo in the movie.
Okay, that's two things. You're correct. I've never seen the movie, and B, now you're correct. I have every reason to go watch it now.
Yeah, they needed a radio station. It happens in Minneapolis, Jingle All the Way. It's set in Minnesota, rather, and they needed a radio station, so they go with the big KQ, of course. Martin Mull, I believe, was the radio host.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's just kind of our little moment in there. Not a particularly great movie, as I recall, but, work it into your playlist.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need a movie to be great to watch it. I just need one reason, and you've given me one reason.
All right, there's one.
I saw a list of Christmas movies, and it listed a film I've never heard of. And by the name alone, I thought this must be a joke. It's called Tokyo Godfathers. Ever heard of this?
Nope.
It's an animated film, and apparently it really is. It takes place on Christmas Eve. It's about wandering around in search of a meager home for a newborn baby. So that's the Christmas story, if you will. The film follows 3 Tokyo street dwellers. They discover a baby in a dumpster and spend a snowy winter's night trying to find her parents while confronting the uncomfortable truths of their own fractured lives.
Oh, boy.
It's 3 men and a baby. Where's Steve Gutenberg?
That's exactly what it is. Hold on. Tokyo Godfathers. Add that to your hot list for Christmas movies.
All right.
I was a freshman in college, so I was 18 years old. And me and a few of my friends all went to see A Christmas Story, which had just come out. We saw the trailer, looked like it might be kind of funny, and then, man, did we have that was back in the day when you could see a movie and you hadn't heard of it, you didn't know anything about it. The trailer was only 40 seconds long like it was supposed to be. Nothing was given away in the storyline, and you could just let a movie wash over you without any preconceived notions, and that was one of the great all-time movie-going experiences because it was so funny and so perfect, and we had no idea what to expect.
Yeah, funny and perfect. And again, every scene is a standalone, right? I mean, you just remember scenes fragilely. I mean, I can't tell you how many leg lamps I've given away in my radio career. That was for every year there was some bar doing a leg lamp giveaway. But yeah,
sure.
Christmas Story. That's right there at the top of the pyramid, I think.
Yeah, it really is, and what is it? Is it TBS or TNT? There's the marathon going on. It's just on for like 3 straight days every year, and so I'm at the point now where I don't ever need to see any of it again. I will still see it. I'll still flip it on and go, oh, this is a good scene. But I'm always let me see Scott Farkas get his comeuppance or whatever. Farkas. But yeah, that experience. That's what I think back to. That there's a handful of those movies, Christmas or otherwise, where you just used to be able to, like I say, walk in without any idea what you're about to see and just enjoy it so much. That was one of the last one of those that I had. Also on the list, this is one that, and this was a real divisive. This was a real line in the sand, and it came out when I was already a parent. The Polar Express.
Yeah, I watched it as a parent, right? And
I just, after about 20 minutes, visually, I was like, I just don't like this. I don't like the way it looks. I'm sick of this. I'd rather just give me hardcore old school animation, like Scooby-Doo looking animation.
Yeah.
The whole realistic thing, but not really, and it's actual actors that they then draw. I don't know. It just did whatever part of my brain processes visual stimulation, it got overworked in the first 10 minutes and I was out.
Did you communicate that to the children?
No, I just shut my eyes and let them sit there and hope that they did. I was just hoping they didn't get up and wander off under the darkness of cover of the theater before I realized where they were.
My God, I forget what year it came out, and she doesn't like it anymore, and she hates it when I say this. She's like, Dad, I did not ever love that movie, but there was one Christmas, once upon a time, where Taylor, at 6 or 7, really got into it, and it's all she wanted to watch, and we watched it 8 times that year, and it was Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh my God!
Yes, and it was. And you talk about a dad that got into the liquor, with the kids for Christmas. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need a drink. Dad's going to be over here quietly drunk until Ernest is over. Yeah, right. Yeah, and then she'd want to rewind it and watch it again. But that's just that one Christmas, so I don't want to be too hard on her. Ernest Saves Christmas. I believe he did as well. And which was not of her era. It was much older. We picked it up on VHS tape, and I'm like, oh, look at this one. It's a free rental.
I saw something about the movie Love Actually recently. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love Actually, Richard Curtis film. It was wholeheartedly just panned critically when it was released, but it's really gotten legs. People love it. They watch it every Christmas. And somebody made an offhand comment once, and it just really stuck with me. And they said, "Oh, Love Actually, you mean the film where every single character is involved in a completely inappropriate workplace relationship? The power dynamic. Everyone is either the boss or the underling in every one of those relationships. Age difference, power difference. It's the most inappropriate film ever." And the guy was saying it to be funny, but it's also true. It was yeah, really. Even the prime minister. Where's the charm in this? Everybody's completely under the thumb or holding the thumb over the person they're involved with.
That's real Christmas. That's what we're trying to escape.
That's exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to see that in front of my face.
It was pretty rough, man. Christmas songs. We had some good bleeps a minute ago, but literally, we've had a lot of great Christmas music on the show today. If you got one, is there a Christmas song that you just say that's mine? I'll take it every time. I don't go to rock and roll versions. No. I go right back to Midnight Mass as a kid, and anytime somebody would bust out "Oh Holy Night," it just
that's mine. You stole mine.
When it really? Oh, when they go to the fall on your knees. Yeah. Oh, hear the angel voice of night divine. Oh, wipes me out every time.
Mine is just good old White Christmas. It just because I was raised on it, and when I hear that, it's Christmas time. It's good old Midwest White Christmas, and everything in that song, every lyric rings true. I don't care if you recorded it in Burbank or not. That's the Christmas I grew up with right there.
Wow. Fair enough. All right, then. I'll give it to you. What?
You're not going to take that one away from me?
I'm not taking that away from you, Ben.
No fists will fly over that.
It's not a fun pick, I could go with Mistress for Christmas by AC/DC we just listened to. That's a fun rocker. I had horns up. I had it cranked to 11 here in Studio C. But White Christmas, that's the one that gets me thinking about Ma.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
And Mom is Christmas, as far as I'm concerned.
I hesitate to say it. I don't know that I've ever seen White Christmas.
Oh, well, you can get away with that with me, but don't say it around Mama Dottie. She's going to sit you down. She's going to make you open up your phone and watch it wherever you're at right there on the spot.
That's a tough one. Ryder, you're from a different generation. Christmas movie, what's the one?
It's got to be Home Alone is the classic I was a kid pick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Home Alone.
Because I was about 7 or 8, I think, when that one came out.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
My modern day pick is Gremlins.
That's a Christmas movie.
Gremlins.
It is very Christmassy. There's a lot of dark undertone going on. And come on, Gizmo's cute.
You know what? I saw that movie when it was in the theaters, and I don't think I've ever seen it since. I haven't even... Gremlins. Yeah, you don't feed them water, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. Don't feed them after midnight.
That's what it is.
Don't get them wet.
Don't get water on them.
Yeah, and keep them out of the light.
Wow, okay. So, I'm going to... Okay, those are the rules. Good. I'm going to have to go back.
You can have a gremlin.
All right. Phoebe Cates, is that right?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Phoebe Cates in that one.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Wow, but Home Alone, see, that's the thing. I saw Home Alone also once, I was too old and too cool at the time to go back to the well.
Yeah.
And I don't think my kids ever got into Home Alone too much either. I don't know why that is. I just don't remember that being on ever.
I mean, I was around it. Yeah, it was one of those. I think I was just aged out of it just a little bit. It was uncool, man.
Yeah.
I saw the first one. Entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the subsequent Home Alones. Weren't there like 4 more?
I'm sure.
I think there were just 2.
Yeah. If it works, you got to go back to that well. I mean, look.
Christmas, you filthy animal.
Things work. Christmas works. That's why we're doing it twice a year now, officially. This is half Christmas. We got another Christmas in December. I'm down for this. Like I said before, if you want to go 2/3, 3/4, just talk to me when it's time. I'm down. This has been great. It's time to look back. Here we go. June 25th, 1965. At a meeting in New York City, the 6 owners of the 6 original NHL teams had a meeting and said, "Hey, let's have 6 more teams. Let's double the size of the NHL, and we'll give 6 new guys a chance. They got to each write a check for $2 million. That added up to $12 million to go to these 6 gentlemen, which in 1965 was a whole lot of cake. The Los Angeles Kings, the Minnesota North Stars, the St. Louis Blues, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and yes, the Oakland Seals were all sworn into existence. The Oakland Seals.
What the hell?
I mean, they didn't last long. I just love the idea that somebody thought that made sense. The Seals.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.